Okay, can I be honest? Can I tell you the truth? Can I keep it all the way real? Like, can I be honest with you and tell you the straightforward truth without holding back, without you looking at me crazy, uh, without you thinking differently of me? I mean, I tell everybody, look, if you're worrying about somebody judging you, I've already judged you. So I kind of expect that same type of mentality. But if I can just say this for real, being an Uber driver isn't for everybody. When I say that, I'm not saying that it's inclusive. It's exclusive. Only a select people can do this. And being an Uber driver is one of the easiest jobs in the sense of easiest. Uh, how can I say it? There's not a lot of requirements to be an Uber driver. I can't think of the actual word that I'm trying to say. Like, there's no real. I mean, I know convicted felons that are on Uber. I know people that, obviously I'm on Uber. I have a bad credit score. Uh, I know a lot of people that probably wouldn't be able to get jobs that are on Uber, that are on DoorDash and on Lyft. And realistically, all you need is a license, a vehicle, and you don't even need a vehicle, and that's it. Because, like I said, I know people that can't pass a background check for anything else, but they're on the platform. I know people that, yeah, they got some crazy stuff on their records, but they're your Uber drivers. And again, that's because Uber doesn't really care. This isn't a super difficult job. All we do is we pick people up, they get in our back seat, most likely, or if you one of those type of people, you let them in the front seat. Weirdo. Then yeah, they get in your car, you pick them up, and you drop them off. That is our job. It is the simplest job in the world. So there's not a lot of requirements that have to be made. We're not talking about you have to go to school to be an Uber driver. We're not talking about you gotta get like 5, 6 certifications. We're not talking about, hey, you gotta pass the security clearance. All we're talking about is you have to have a driver's license, which most people do. Most people have already passed the driver's license test. So you just have to have a driver's license and a vehicle. And you don't even need a vehicle, i.e., me, in my Tesla. Because obviously I rent. So you don't even need a vehicle. You just need money, a bank account, I guess. A bank account, depending on who you're going through, a bank account or a credit card. That's all you really need. This is the bar to entry is so low to be an Uber driver. It's not difficult. It's not that difficult in that sense. It's not a lot of hoops that you got to jump through. It's not a lot of, you don't have to know somebody to get in and be an Uber driver. But because the bar is so low, because pretty much anybody can do it, this is why there's certain people that make a lot of money in Uber. And there's certain people that don't make much. This is why we could be in the same exact market, but two different people can make two different incomes. This is why it's not necessarily about your acceptance rate, like everybody likes to think. It's not necessarily about your cancellation rate. It's not necessarily about all of the things that you think it's about. It's not necessarily about, you know, being an advantage mode driver or being a standard mode driver. It's not necessarily about being a platinum driver or being a diamond driver. It's not like that. As much as you may think it is, it's not like that. It's kind of weird. I know. It's because if you listen to the app, all Uber really wants you to do is just accept everything. That's all they want you to do. They don't want you to think about it. They don't want you to talk about it. They just want you to accept. Accept. That's all. So if you're accepting, you're doing exactly what Uber wants. If you're not thinking about it, you're doing exactly what Uber wants. So there's not a huge barrier to entry. It's just not. If you start today, anybody can start. It's not even that you got to have a great background, not even that you have to have great credit. It's just there's such a low barrier to entry. So if it's not the acceptance rate, it's not, your ratings. If it's not, in my opinion, it's not the tier that you're on, the, you know, diamond driver, platinum driver. If it's not those things, then what is it? The people that make it on Uber, can I just tell you, really, I'm gonna be very straightforward, as I've been. The people that make it on Uber are very simply just people that are willing to hustle. The people that make money on Uber are people that are consistent. They're the people that don't have a problem with working. They're the people that don't have a problem with figuring things out. They're the people that are honestly willing to willing to go to work. You know, working weird hours, working a couple more hours than normal. They're the people that's hard workers, really hard workers. The people that make it with Uber, they're the hustlers, because that's what you have to do. These are not the days. I try to tell you guys this all the time. These are not the days where you just turn on the app and you're gonna make $1 million. It's just not the days. I'm sorry. If you didn't know that, let me break it to you. See, back in the day, about 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, you could turn on the app and you could just happenstance into a surge and you take one ride and that surge compounded with, because you would get a surge, you would get the multiplier. It was just like a bunch of different things. Don't that surge and the multiplier could be paying you like $20, $30 on top of the ride. So you take a little $20 ride, boom, now you up $50. You take a little $20 ride, boom, now you up $70, depending on the multiplier. 'Cause it used to be crazy. And the surge and all of that stuff used to compound. It used to stack on top of each other. And then obviously you didn't have upfront fares, so the rates were a little bit more. So you could really ball out in one ride, two rides. Realistically, you could do a lot. But let me just tell you, that was like in 2016. That was like in 2014 when nobody was really on Uber. As of right now, in 2025, we're talking about a platform. I dare you to just kind of walk outside. Walk outside at night. Go, especially if you're in the city. I dare you to walk outside. You may be downtown, maybe in one of your hot spots. Like one of our hot spots is the beach. That's where I'm at now. I'm over here on South Beach. You can't really see, but yeah, I'm over here on South Beach. And so this is one of our hot spots. This is where everybody wants to go. This is where everybody says, I'm gonna be an Uber driver here. And if you just look around, funny enough, you'll probably see about 5, 6 Uber drivers on your way. If you just stand on the corner, you'll probably see like 5, 6 Uber drivers pass by. And then there's another 5, 6 Uber drivers on the other side. And then there's another 5, 6 Uber drivers way up the street. The market is different. Yes, I'm going to say that the market is saturated with drivers in the sense that that free money that Uber used to give out, they don't really do that anymore because they don't have to. They don't do it anymore because they don't have to. They have so many drivers. So now, to actually make money on the platform, you gotta hustle. You gotta grind. You gotta get out here and actually take rides. Know what you're doing. Pick a strategy. Sure, there's some luck in it that, if you're in the right place at the right time, you may get a great ride. But it's about strategy. It's about putting in the time. Just like any other job. Just like any other business. There was a golden era where, I don't know. So I come from, so in my background, I used to make apps and websites. That's my background. I'm a software engineer. Yeah. I almost had a computer engineering degree. Yeah. And I love tinkering with stuff. I'm the type of person, when I was young, I was the one that would take the TV apart and put it back together. Because, you can't get that whooping. I was the person that would take apart the remote and put it back together. I was always fascinated by how things worked. How things, like, why is this working like that? So as I got older, well, really, as I became an adult and I went to college, in college I learned how to program. I was like, I want to be able to create the screen that we're looking on. I want to be able to create little things. And so back then, when the iPhone was fairly new, if you created an app, it was almost guaranteed that you was gonna make a lot of money. Back then, it was almost guaranteed, as you hear people. Like I said, I'm on the beach. It was almost guaranteed that you were balling. If you could create apps and you created a couple, all you really needed was one or two to just catch wind. You can make a lot of money because the App Store really didn't have apps. So if you had a unique idea back then, you were golden. you were you were absolutely golden because everything was still new. Things were still being brought in. New ideas were still being built. The phones weren't as powerful as they are today. It was just a different time. Now, when you flip it and you say today, the market is completely different. You can build the greatest app in the world, but if you don't put no marketing behind it and you don't really have a good strategy, it doesn't matter how great of what problem you're solving. It doesn't matter how great the app is. It's not gonna get any traction because the app store is just saturated. That's why you got to play to pay. You want to be on those playlists, and you want to be on the home page. And it's the same concept, same exact concept. Because in the App Store, they have, I don't know, I forget the numbers that they say now. It used to be a time where they would come out and say, "Hey, we got 1 million apps in the App Store. We got 2 million apps in the App Store." I don't remember what it is now. Probably like 100. So it's like it's a different era. So if you were one of the people that started off in that App Store and you made a couple dollars and you try to come back now, even though you may know how to do it, you're not gonna make the same type of money. Now it's about having the strategy. Now it's about putting behind the work. So yeah, so I kind of use that analogy just to describe this isn't for everybody. Even though everybody can, for the most part, do it. Even though if you're in the need, if you got a bill due, if you got things going on, this is probably one of the best opportunities to be able to pay that because there's such a low barrier to entry. Again, I always challenge anybody that says it's not a great opportunity. Tell me one better that has a lower entry that pretty much anybody can do and you can make as much money as you need. And that's where you always get crickets. That's where it's always okay. We don't want to talk about that because it's just you can come out here right now today and go make $1,000. Maybe not all in one day, obviously. Maybe it'll take you a couple days, a lot of hours, but you can do it. You come out here and make $200 in a day, $300 in a day, $500 in a day. I mean, obviously, it's dependent on what location you're at and what time you're working. But outside of that, you can do it. So, yeah, with that being said, man, I know I've been kind of missing for a little bit. As you can see, I'm chilling on the beach, kind of enjoying myself. So these last couple of days, I've been enjoying myself. I'm not gonna lie. It's been kind of peaceful, Been enjoying some time with family, with friends. Yeah, a little bit more friends than family. Just having a good time. So I can't get mad at it, I can't get mad at it. But yeah, with that being said, man, if you haven't noticed, I've been going live a lot. So if you're not subscribed, I can't say the word. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you're missing out, man, because I go live. I be trying to talk to y'all, and nobody likes to talk to me. I just be talking to myself. So subscribe to the channel, man. I make these videos every single day. I'll get back to every single day. But yeah, man, if you got any questions, any comments, leave them down below. I've been responding to comments. And lastly, if you're not a part of the Telegram group, this is the time to do it. This is your sign. Because it's going to change. It's changing real soon. This is your sign to do it. We are trying to build a community of people talking in the Telegram group. So don't just hit the link just to see what we got going on. Because we know you watching. We know you watching. We're trying to build a community, man. That's what it's about. But yeah, I'm out of here. It's getting late, so I'll talk to you guys later. I want you to know that I love you from the bottom of my heart, and I appreciate you for watching. Deuces.